Alright, so for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the First Gear Roadtec Rp-195e Asphalt Paver 1/50th scale. Starting off the review, you do have some nice crisp Roadtec decals, and it does say in very small print, an Aztec Industries company. It says it right there. It's pretty hard to see on camera, and it's pretty hard to see in person because it's very small. And if you didn't know, the Aztec Corporation owns Roadtec. I believe the Aztec Industries, or whatever they're called, makes asphalt plants, if I'm not mistaken. You do have a nice American flag decal right there. You have a nice Rp-195e decal right there. Coming to the rear of the machine, you do have some. You have a bunch of nice decals. You have your triangle decal right there. You do have some Roadtec decals on the backs of the seats. You do have some here on the screed. Then, as you can see right here, it is a Carlson screed. That's the screeds that are on, I believe, on all the Roadtec pavers. And your handrails on the paver are all plastic. I believe the majority of the screed is plastic itself. And then coming to this side, as you can see, it's the same as the other side. Your Rp-195e decals, American flag, and the Roadtec. I believe the Rp-190 and the 195 are the same machine, just the 195e is tracked and the 190 is on wheels. And then coming to the front of the machine, you can see you do have some nice work lights right there. Some simulated mesh that would be to where you could vent the heat from the engine. You do have these rubber flaps right here. I'm not really sure what they're for. You have the part of where your dump truck, your simulated rollers right here, and you do have a nice cast-in conveyor. It's non-functioning, which is totally fine. Then I believe I'm not really sure what this is right here. I'm not sure if it's an air cleaner or what it is. It would definitely not be the exhaust, because the exhaust comes out of the side. I believe this is where the exhaust would come out on the machine, if I'm not mistaken. But getting into some of the functionality of the model, the back of the screed, you do have the ramps or the platforms where you would stand. They do fold up like they do on the 195 or the 190, made by Northcott. So you do have flaps that work. Your screed does extend, which is nice. That's about as far as it'll extend out. And then it might be hard to see, but there are little platforms on the screed that do fold down as well. You got to be kind of careful because, like I said, I believe the whole screed is plastic itself, so you got to be careful when folding them down. You don't want to break it, and it slides in and out. The screed doesn't really move up and down that great. It wasn't really designed that well to move up and down. Your hopper does. The one thing I do like about this paver over the 190 is that there are hydraulics that power the hopper. So it's not just a loose fit, like a friction rivet or just a pin that moves the hopper sides in and out. So it is nice to see it is powered by some hydraulics. Another cool feature, which not very many pavers do. I know the Vergala pavers do this, but the operator seat does move out on both sides, as you can see right there. So that's pretty cool. This side, you got to be careful because the warning beacon right here will hit the cylinder. So you got to be a little bit careful, and it does has a high plastic content, so you got to be careful when moving it so you don't break anything. But as you can see right there, if you so desired to swing out the operator's station, you could. But getting to the tracks on it, you do have a working roll. Your rollers do work. The bottom ones, I believe, are just pieces of plastic. I don't believe. Actually, they do roll. So you do have rollers that somewhat work. But your tracks are kind of a disappointment, honestly. It's just like a black rubber band. There's no tread details on it, which is kind of disappointing, because this is not what your tracks would look like on a paver. They would have somewhat of a tread detail to them. And you can see the auger that would kind of spread out your material from each side of the screed is modeled right there in plastic as well. But overall, this is a pretty cool model. I'd recommend getting it if you can get your hands on it. When I bought mine at the time, it was $50, and then I think it was like a few days later, Roadtec raised the price to $100, which I personally don't feel like this model is worth $100 if you ask me. It's more of a $50 model, like the Rp-190 is a $50 model. It's the plastic content is a little high for $100. I mean, I could see maybe paying $100 for the Shuttle Buggy, since it's a much bigger model and got more of a metal content. But this is, I would say it's about a $50 model. But you can find them for, like I said, I'd hope the price goes back down to $50, but they are $100. I believe eBay has them for like $150. I definitely would not pay $150 for this model. And then one last thing is, if you do have the First Gear Shuttle Buggy, the hopper, it can fit into the the hopper. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's the black thing that comes with the Shuttle Buggy that sits in the hopper. You can put it in here. It's just very difficult because of these little plastic things right here. So I would exercise caution when trying to put the the hopper extension into the hopper itself, because you're gonna have to deal with these little plastic parts on the side. But overall, it's a pretty nice model. Like I said, definitely not worth the $100 in my opinion, but it is a nice model if the price ever goes back down like $50. But overall, that's just about it for this review. So thank you for watching. If you'd like to follow my social medias, both links are in the description. And stay tuned for the next video to be uploaded.